Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Work Joy. A couple of weeks ago, my boss pulled me aside for a quick conversation. I've been working at a small, independent neighborhood coffee shop for almost 13 years. We've built a great community, and I know most of the regulars by name and by order. Even with new customers, I do my best to make them feel welcome and taken care of. There's one regular though who's always been a challenge. She's consistently rude, dismissive and condescending, just generally unpleasant. I usually keep things polite but minimal when she comes in, just to keep the peace. Well, one day I apparently didn't handle her order just right, and my boss let me know that she had filed a complaint, saying I'd been rude or dismissive. I took it in stride and told him I'd be more mindful around her from now on. And that's when the malicious compliance kicked in. Since then, every time she's come in, I've given her the most over-the-top, cheerful, ultra-polite customer service possible. Just layers and layers of sugary sweet, extra helpful, almost robotic friendliness. Midwest nice at its finest. It was exhausting at first. I had to use every ounce of energy to stay that cheerful and polished, around someone who treated me with zero kindness. But then, today, it all paid off. Today she let it slip that my perfectly polite, overly sweet tone is actually getting on her nerves. And let me tell you, I haven't felt such a wave of satisfaction in years. Because now, it's not hard work anymore. Now it's just a joy. The next story is called Point Made. I was having a conversation with my mom in the car when I needed to pull out my phone for something. It took me a couple extra seconds because I always zip up my jacket pockets. She started teasing me a bit, lighthearted but definitely leaning into it, saying I was being overly anxious for always zipping my pockets. "You don't need to do that," she said. I never zip my pockets and my phone never falls out. I reminded her that I take public transportation to school, and even if the chances are low, one unlucky moment could mean losing my phone completely. Still, she brushed it off and repeated, "My phone never falls out of my pocket." It was a little frustrating, especially because when my mom feels strongly about something, she tends to stop listening to reason. Unfortunately for her, I seem to have inherited the need to prove a point from her side of the family. So I just shrugged and unbuckled my seatbelt. Mom immediately reacted, "What are you doing? Buckle your seatbelt." "Why? It's not like you're going to crash." "That's not the point. Put it back on." "But I've driven with you so many times, and I've never actually needed the seatbelt." She paused, looked at me for a second, zipped up her jacket pocket without saying a word, then told me to put my seatbelt back on. I buckled up. Point made. The last story is called Doing Too Much. This happened when I was working at a cemetery. The manager there were, to put it gently, extreme micromanagers. When I first started as an admin/receptionist, I helped where I could. I'd answer the door, which we kept locked, pick up phone calls, transfer them to the right people, and assist the family service advisors with scheduling. The FSAs were incredibly busy, often working with grieving families, and you never rush a grieving family, so naturally they could fall behind. But then we had a team meeting, and I got called out by name. Apparently I was doing too much. I wasn't doing my job, I was doing others' jobs. I was told I shouldn't answer the phones, the FSAs should. I shouldn't open the doors, the FSA should open it for their own appointments. I definitely shouldn't help with scheduling. That was all on the FSAs, even if they were overwhelmed, even if they were late to funerals, even if paperwork piled up. Fine then, I stopped. I followed the rules exactly. No phone answering, no scheduling, no opening doors. I just sat at my desk, paid to do nothing. A few days later, I got called out again, this time for not answering phones or helping with scheduling. So I pulled out the meeting notes, their meeting notes, highlighted the section where they told me not to do those things. The room went quiet. Needless to say, I didn't stay there much longer. It was clear the managers didn't really understand or value the work I was doing, which was a shame, because the FSAs and I worked like a well-oiled machine. I genuinely believed in the service we were providing. It mattered to me that families in the middle of grief didn't have to also wrestle with bureaucracy. I wasn't trying to be a superhero, just trying to help people through a hard time. Eventually, they even wrongly fired one of the FSAs for being sick. That was the final straw. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.